Alright, it is time for the final day of the Elemental Jakobs mod. So today we're going to use this character right here. This is my normal running character, and we're just going to try to plow through some of the DLC at OP10 to get some of the items to test how they feel. So we're going to start with Pirate DLC because it has things like the Stink Pot, it has the Orphan Maker, and, you know, just stuff like that. So we can go ahead and test those, see what that's like, maybe get the greed, see what that's like. And then from there we'll move on to like Hammerlock DLC, try to get like a Rex, maybe try to get stuff like that. And we'll just see how it goes. So yeah, let's get started. So yeah, this character has all of the DLC and everything wiped. So they are bog standard boring. Now I have to imagine for something like the Stink Pot, it's totally just still gonna be corrosive bound, because I feel like that's a unique tag that they put on it. So I don't think there should be anything that would really like interrupt that and allow us to change that element too easily. But we'll find out, I guess. So we've got the Stink Pot dude ready to be fought. I don't have UCP, so he doesn't naturally respawn, so we're setting our game to read-only mode to be able to do this. But this should give us a good idea after we do a couple of kills whether or not it can drop anything but corrosive. Okay, it's corrosive in his hands, so I highly doubt it allows change. Yeah, so corrosive this time. Alright, so yeah, once again it is corrosive, so that's 2 in a row. And if there's 3 in a row, we can probably just safely assume that it is just bound to corrosive like it's supposed to be. And yeah, once again for our third run, it is corrosive. So yeah, this seems to pretty much still be tied to its proper element. I'm really not too surprised by that, because I mean, it doesn't really, it's specific, the type of element it wants to have on it. So that would be a really hard thing to not have enforce, especially for a mod that doesn't really like do that specifically. They're probably all the same unless the mod author changed them specifically then. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking it'll be. But might as well check, I guess. Alright, and so, yep, we have a Shock Orphan Maker, Fire Orphan Maker. So, yeah, this can roll elements. Oh, we might take that. That could be fun to use with Immolate. So I might test using Immolate with the Fire Orphan Maker just to see how much damage it can really stack. And that could be super fun. Yeah, the health balancing in this game is just a little bit off. The fact that the ship has like that much health and it still just starts getting murked. And then you think about how little health the actual character has, and it's like, how do we exist? Healthgate? Yeah, but Healthgate shouldn't exist. Or at least we shouldn't have to crutch on it. Because let's be honest, if we didn't have Healthgate at OP10, everyone would just die immediately. We would all just get farmed 24/7. No amount of health build or like health tank builds would help with that. That's why I think that enemies should deal like a percentile based damage to the player. And that would just make things so much easier. Because if there weren't like flat damage values tied to enemies, they wouldn't farm you so hard. Or maybe if their damage was based off of like the player's health scaling instead of like the damage we deal to enemies, or something. If it was a percentile-based damage system, could you have health and shield boost? Well, yeah, because you could base their damage off of the assumed base health of an average player. And so having extra health wouldn't be factored into that calculation. And so you would still take the expected damage value, but you would still have more health. And also this would mean that if you had like damage over time effects, you could potentially just out-health them by being a thick boy instead of having to panic heal for like 6 seconds straight after you receive a dot. Because let's imagine like in UVHM, Let's make a corrosive dot deal, like, I don't know, 20% of the player's base health a second. Now, that's a lot, let's be honest. But, unless you are literally just don't heal the entire time, or you have 0 health or shield buffs, it wouldn't kill you. It would drop you down to a very unsafe level, which is what I think dots are supposed to do. They're not supposed to be like openers and closers, but they would still concern you. And also you'd have to consider, like, yeah, you only received a dot, and it's not factoring in like the gun that shot you, or the other enemies that might attack you at the same time, or stuff like that. So I think if it did like a % of player base health, and then your healing percents and your like max health percents would feel a lot more useful, instead of what they feel like now, which is like, oh, I have basically 2 numbers. I have full health, I have half health, and then I'm dead. And if you're not above half, you are dead if you get shot, and it feels bad. So that'd be nice if there was a way to like fix that. And also, if enemies dealt a % damage, how much easier would that be to like fix if it was decided like, hey, this is too strong, or hey, this was too weak? You just change the % number, and then that's how it would feel for the rest of the difficulty that you were in. And then it would allow the player to feel more powerful towards the end of the game as they got more and more skill points to invest into their character. And I think that would feel nice. I don't know why I put on a B shield, it's only going to help the first shot. Oh, but that first shot was sick. Did you see how much damage that was? Okay, immolate damage. So whenever it hits, it hits. That's super nice. And yep, it is fire. We'll go ahead and try again though. Yep, it's fire again. Okay, we'll do it one more time. And third try, and it is still fire. Okay, so I think we can assume pretty safely that this is just gonna be fire no matter what. So from here, we will go ahead and move on to Hammerlock DLC, where we will test out the Rex. But it's bad. It is bad. But it's a unique Jakobs pistol, but it just looks good. So I want to see what it would look like with like a fire skin on it, basically. Alright, we've got a Rex. Ooh, and it has fire on it. This is kind of the one I was hoping it would have. I was mainly just interested in seeing what this one looks like. But, yeah, if you could imagine this with like a matching grip instead, maybe a better scope instead, this would look so clean. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's super cool to look at. Okay, so up next is the Hydra. Alright, Rouge. Let's do this. Okay, yeah, no, that's not the move. Got it.
Stay still.
Right, cool, there we go. Any good? Hey, Tricat, or not Tricatra, jeez, a Hydra. Alright, cool, and it's corrosive. That's kind of nice. I like how it kind of accents the skin. Alright, cool, so yeah, we got one of these. We have been farmed a little bit, but that's okay. There we go. And yeah, I mean, functionally it's still just a Hydra, just, you know, corrosive. Yeah, cool. And I guess from here, we're just gonna go to the base game and try to get an elephant gun. Oh, she has her texture from Peak. Oh, that's so cool. I updated Dukino's mom's texture to feel more appropriate to how her fight is. I think it's really cool. Cool. Very interesting. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's pretty much... that looks really cool with fire. I do like how that looks with the fire. But that's pretty much exactly what I was expecting these to look like. Now, of course, we could sit here and we could test the guns and we could just keep retesting them and we could just try all the Jakobs guns. But as we know, they're pretty much just going to feel exactly how they normally do, but they'll just deal more damage to the proper element enemy. And that's about it. So if you want to get this mod and test it, by all means, go ahead and test it. But this is just going to feel like Jakobs, just, you know, with more damage to the proper element. I guess that'll go ahead and do it. So, yeah, day 7 feels good. This was the final day. And hopefully next time we will be moving on to Azurlands.